Hello friends, this is a series that I'm going to be doing as often as I can on things that complete relating to history and politics and culture. Uh, Generally I read this time. It is on the TV series 1864 about the Second Schleswig War between Denmark and Prussia.
Dinesen for helvede! Orgelade! De bliver slagtet deroppe. Hold formationen! Fremad! Lagardinesen! Fremad! For Danmark!
Now this isn't going to be like a summary. This is more of an endorsement to watch it on your own. It's a great story. I enjoyed it very much, and it has one of my favorite features, which is that it is in the Danish language and German, which means you have to read subtitles. I always like when I have it in their native languages. One of the things that bugs me the most here in America and about English speaking is that we tend to English everything. We don't use the actual languages that the histories come from. That always bothers me. That's just a pet peeve, I guess you could say, of mine. But I enjoy listening to the language it's supposed to be spoken in, where it's happening. A great example of this would be the movie Valkyrie, where I got super excited because in the beginning they're speaking German, but then they fade into English, and I was like, oh, this movie is good, but it could have been so much better if it was just done all in German and how it should have been done. So the stories in this is kind of a love story surrounded by this war, the ongoing nationalist war. And it was really good in the sense that it showed 1864 being the same time period as the American Civil War. So this is going on directly at the same time, and they're using the same typical tactics that the American Civil War was using, only on a much smaller scale, because Denmark is a smaller nation and it was going up against a very large German Confederation that was intent on winning, and they weren't going to lose this war because they didn't start it. It was actually the Danish liberal nationalists. Let's get that right. They were liberal nationalists. They weren't monarch nationalists. They weren't saying that the kingdom needed to be expanded. They were doing it because they felt that the expansion would bring in more liberalism, is how I took it. I could be wrong on that. It's just how I saw it, especially with the character who was playing Monrad, who was the prime minister during this period, I guess. He becomes prime minister. He was just a politician in the beginning, I believe. And you can just see how he's just not in tune with reality throughout the thing, and I think he played it great, the actor, on exposing that he wasn't in his right mind when he conceived all these ideas, and how, yes, national fervor can be used for great good, but it all can be used as a great destroyer of your own people, and that seems to be where he led them down, in a war that couldn't be fought and won during a period that they needed to win it, and then also interfering with the generals, as they did multiple times in the firing of generals. And I think that's a great parallel to today, where we see politicians and non-military experts weighing in on military decisions and trying to influence them based on what they think is right, instead of letting the generals who are trained in this manner handle it. If you want to draw a parallel today of the opposite tune, is where President Trump has now enlisted General Mattis, who he has given great control over the conflicts that are currently going on throughout the world, and General Mattis is making more decisions, not President Trump, who's not a military general, which is probably for the best. And if there's one person I trust in our entire military, it's General Mattis. As a Marine myself, I definitely have 100% trust in General Mattis to make the right decisions. So, but back to 1864. Again, it was just interesting watching how it was portrayed, how there was trench systems being built, and how that preludes World War One. The charges that were sent over open ground. You can see how a machine gun invention would be devastating to those frontal assaults over open land, and how many of them they were, when they were charging, would be taken out quite quickly, even just by regular fire. So definitely along those lines, very interesting. The love story in it is that gets interesting too, because it's a triangle with an outlier type of thing, that, and they're all, and the three men are all in the same unit too. So there's three men, and they're all technically, I guess you say, in love with the one woman, and it gets really interesting. And towards the end, I was extremely upset with the female character. I don't know. I guess time period matters to me, and she had to make a decision, and she made her choice, even though it seemed bad. I don't know. I guess it's just a show, and but I guess that's why I made it good, is that I disliked her decision at the end. I guess I need to give a lot of props to the Danes who made this movie, or show, my bad. It was well made, well done. From what I understand, it was the most expensive miniseries they've ever done, and it worked out for them. I think it's extremely good. It's not American quality, of course, because we spend way more on our TV shows than most economies probably have in the world. But it was really well done. I thought the acting was superb. I thought the storytelling was superb. Even the alternate story, which is a surprise, you'll see if you watch it. It's very interesting, and it gives a very good view of today and the youth. So I recommend it. I want you all to go and watch this legally if you can, because there are means other means of finding this type of show, and watching it. So that's gonna be it for today. I just want to talk about this show real fast, and the series, and how well I thought it was done, and its small parallels to today and to American history. And I hope you go and watch it for yourselves and enjoy it.